Cynics on Disney Podcast contains adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
This week's episode of the Cynics on Disney Podcast is sponsored by that shitty gift shop off of 192. Are you looking to be fooled by ads for cheap tickets and $1.99 t-shirts? Do you need a last-minute souvenir that tells the world someone smokes weed? Is what you're missing from your home decor a dead shark in a formaldehyde jar? Then come on over to that shitty gift shop off of Highway 192. That shitty gift shop specializes in items like poor quality yet overpriced clothing, the tackiest use of color since 1987, probably unlicensed Disney merchandise, sunglasses that cut off circulation to the brain, knockoff bags that fall apart after 2 uses, plastic alligator heads advertised as authentic, shot glasses for every occasion, and so much more. So come on down to that shitty gift shop of 192. You'll be disappointed you did.
This is the Cynics on Disney Podcast, presented by NightClub33.com.
Welcome into this week's episode of the Cynics on Disney Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby, a.k.a. the Disney Cynic.
And I'm Amanda, a.k.a. the Anti-Cynic.
And today we step outside the Disney bubble just a little bit, and then a lot farther than you would think, to tackle a couple of things that we have seen on social media. Or at least one thing that we've seen on social media anyway. And I feel like we need to kind of correct some things. But I guess I'm, we might as well just go ahead and get to the whole thing. We are talking today about the Lakeland Lakeland Antique Mall, y'all. I don't know why you kids are cheering. You're not getting any of this shit. And believe me, I say that for a reason. Amanda, you are the history professor, and you have been furiously searching Google for stuff about the Lakeland Antique Mall experience, as I'm calling it, or LAME.
You're a little late on that, but okay.
Sounds about right. Why don't you tell us just a little bit, please not the whole story, of the Lakeland Antique Mall?
Are you ready for a ride? Because this is a ride.
Really not, but okay, sure. What the hell?
Okay, so this antique mall was originally part of a chain of antique malls. This chain of antique malls was known as the Wildwood Antique Malls. And the first one of those stores opened in, I think, 2011 in Wildwood, Florida.
Okay.
Which, for those of you not familiar with Florida, Wildwood is just outside the Villages.
Hey, that's America's happiest hometown. For
considering
pharmaceutical reasons only, but
considering that the man who started it was 77 at the time that he started it, I have a feeling he lived in the Villages, but I don't know that for sure.
I mean, I don't know that he made it to the end of construction, but sure,
Oh, he did.
Okay.
Oh, the things happened. So by 2017, he had expanded it. Lakeland, the store in Lakeland opened in July of 2017. It was the 4th store in this chain to open. It was also the largest in the chain, in a former Sports Authority store. So,
okay, I could see that as the vibe. Yeah, all right, that tracks.
However, about 2 years later, they closed in November of 2019, mid-November, just like suddenly, because the company went bankrupt. Turns out the owner, who is also apparently a licensed auctioneer and realtor in the state of Florida, had a history of embezzlement, theft, tax violations, and just not paying people. And in 2014, he faced disciplinary action by the State Board of Auctioneers. I don't know why, but he did.
Probably because he wasn't talking fast enough. I mean, when you get up to be that age, you tend to slow down in all things.
Yeah, maybe. So mid-November 2019, they closed all of the malls, but obviously the one we're focusing on is Lakeland. Apparently the vendors had like less than 24 hours notice that this was happening. So when they went the next day, they couldn't get their stuff because the state had come in and seized the computers and padlocked the doors. However, we have the owner of the building to thank because he stepped in, offered to essentially buy this particular mall and reopen it. And it actually reopened like 2 weeks later. But yeah, it was a ride. When I went to go research this, I was not expecting.
Yeah. Embezzlement and smezzlement. I mean,
tax violations, theft.
That's a Tuesday down here. I mean,
Just wasn't really expecting it for, the Lakeland Antique Mall. So yeah, there's your history of the Lakeland Antique Mall.
Okay. Well, thank you for all of that. Sweetie, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, it was a short round of applause, but you got it. So
I got it. It's the first time I've gotten a round of applause for this stuff, so I appreciate it.
Well, somebody found a sound effect app on their iPad, so there's that. Anywho, we've seen God knows how many TikTok or Instagram reels about this quote unquote best kept Disney secret, which for years I thought was Disney Vacation Club based on all the signage.
Yeah. They do have a lot of signage that says that at Disney.
In fact, it's the worst kept secret since you keep blasting it all over the fucking place.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
You wonder why DVC members have complaints? That's the reason why. I'm convinced of it. Well, I guess this is where Disney offloads all its shit. That's the only way to describe it. All of the various costumes that you could ever think of, except for one, apparently.
The one I was looking for was not there. But,
right. That's correct. All of the plates and room art and I guess some furniture, although I didn't see beds or bed frames.
When we say furniture, it's mostly like end tables, chairs, and coffee tables is what most of it was. Some
office desk.
Yeah. The phones. The hotel room phones.
Yeah. Those were there because people still use landlines in 2024.
But if you wanted one from All-Star or Grand Floridian, I saw both of those.
No, I saw Yacht and Beach. So
I didn't see that one. So there you go.
I think we're ruining a little bit of the experience here, but it just it's an antique mall. You know what it looks like? It looks like your grandmother's closet when she was a hoarder. I mean, that's what it looks like. There is shit in there from the 1940s all the way up until like a couple of years ago. It's really not well organized, like at all. There's not like a toy section. There's not like a clothes section.
So there's different vendors that sell. There's like 250 vendors that sell. So it's not each vendor is going to sell things, that they want to sell. And so it's not really categorized like you would see in a normal store. This is, if you've been to an antique mall before with the vendors, they just kind of put vendors in. And you in order to find things, you pretty much have to walk the whole store.
If you're like me, and until, this one time that we went to the Lakeland Antique Mall, had never stepped foot in an antique mall, because why would you want something that's old and broken? It just seems
not
silly.
Everything's old and old, but not broken. I mean, you gotta hunt. Antique malls are like, you have to hunt for stuff.
Yes, yes, you do, I guess. And you know what? No, I like my meat from the butcher. Not even like one step removed from a hunter. No, want it to go to at least one, if not two, other parties before it finally ends up on my plate. Um, I just I don't get it. I don't get this experience. I'm never gonna get this experience, I guess. I don't. There were some items that I would have been open to purchasing, but none of those were there. Um, and I just kind of this trek, because it is a trek, y'all.
It is. It's not close.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, this is only half an hour from the park. No, it's not half an hour from the park. It is a solid hour and 12 minutes from
Yeah.
the 192 exit. I mean, really.
Yeah. But not the 192 exit that is right outside of Disney.
No.
There's another one of those.
That's right. Second 192. Even though it doesn't make sense how that works. I really don't know how that.
Actually, I don't. Is it 192 or is it just 92?
I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, it's Highway 98. Never mind. It's Highway 98.
Oh, okay. All right. So, well, that ruins your joke, but it's okay. We'll leave it in. Leave it in, Steve. Oh,
well.
I don't know where that button is on this new sound effect board app, but it's a pain to get to. It's not that far from the interstate. Once you get down that far, but if you're driving that far, you might as well go like a couple exits more and go to the Hard Rock. Like you have a better chance of finding gold there.
Here's how, for those of you that don't live in the state of Florida, here's how it's set up. You have North Florida, where there's nothing. You hit Gainesville, and then there's nothing. That includes Ocala. Then you get to Orlando, and then you get past Disney, and there's nothing.
Yep.
Until you get to Tampa on I-4.
Yeah, if that's the route that you're taking anyway. So
Right.
Look, what point being is that it's not. Half of y'all bitch about like having to like not rent a car and stuff like that. And
you would have to if this is something you plan to do on your trip, you have to rent a car.
And why not rent a pickup truck? Because if you're the person that this thing appeals to, then you're gonna buy some shit. You just are. Walking this thing, when you first walk in, by the way, you're greeted by a velociraptor. So
that's new. That wasn't there the last time I went.
Oh, you've been before?
Yeah, this is like my second or third time.
Oh, for God's sake, the only reason that we did this was because I thought I was being cool and taking you someplace new and different.
Nope, I've been before.
Son of a bitch, I didn't have to go?
Oh, well. But if you didn't, you wouldn't have this review. So
I guess that's
because something. You have to. It is going to get crazier as we continue. So.
Yeah. So yeah, you're greeted by a velociraptor. It does not have a price. I looked and was rather disappointed because I would love to have that as a garden gnome.
Yes, and you were being egged on to buy it.
Yes, I was.
In the family group, in the group chat.
Yep. I mean, I am a little disappointed in myself that I didn't really inquire too deep on this.
Thank God. We couldn't have got that thing home.
I would have made sure to include delivery in the negotiation.
I could just imagine us like tying that thing down to the roof of the car. Yeah,
it was larger than I am, and I'm not slim. Let's put it that way. That's how big that velociraptor was. You're then greeted by a bunch of other crap that looks like it was on sale at like a garage sale in like a really, really small rinky-dink town.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that I also want to clear something up. about
no.
this mall. No. Everything, if you have watched TikToks or Reels about this, they make it seem like this is strictly just Disney stuff. It
No,
is not.
it is not.
It
It
is
is
an antique mall, so anything goes. It's yes, there is a lot of Disney stuff. Yes, there is a lot of Disney stuff from the parks, but it's not exclusively Disney. You're gonna find Universal stuff. You're gonna find stuff that's not related to any of the theme parks whatsoever.
You're also going to find a whole bunch of bullshit is what you're going to find.
There's that. Again, it's an antique mall.
You wonder why I didn't want to go to this thing in the first. Anyway, there is a significant portion of this mall dedicated to bullshit that Disney like hawked them or something like that. So if you are a huge Disney fan, know that this shit is going to change like weekly, like what's on sale, what's not. That's not to say rush to buy or any of that kind of nonsense. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I am saying though that if you're looking for something specific, I believe that they have websites that you can go look at.
Some of the vendors do have websites.
And I would highly recommend going and doing that specifically because you really don't know what you're getting with all the stuff that's down there.
The only thing is, if you go to the website for the antique mall, you're not gonna they don't have a list of vendors.
Okay, well,
so
trust me, there's ways that you can find.
Yeah, you can definitely find out who's there, but just know that you're not going to get that information from the antique mall's website.
So put forth a little effort and find out if this is really worth doing, because this is a 6 hour at a minimum sidetrack. Wouldn't you say?
To really go through everything, if you were on a hunt for something, yeah, you're gonna spend some hours.
I wouldn't even just say that. I would just say the travel time for one.
The travel time, yeah.
And then you got to think that you're either trying to get there first thing, rope dropping it, if you will, which means that you're going to have to leave at like 8:00 to get down there because it opens at 10 every day. So that means you're going to need a meal of some kind at some point during this day. I would say the most amount of time that you could spend in there is 3 hours.
This is a day thing. This is not, I'm going to go for, this is not like going to the outlet malls that are over, kind of over by Disney, on the Disney Springs side. It's not like going there. This is an all-day affair.
And I question the need for this to exist and exist so far away from the parks too.
I think if it were just like a Disney specific place, it would be closer. But again, this is an antique mall, and when it first started, it wasn't the Disney, place. Now it's become known as the place you can go to find stuff from Disney. And don't just think that you're only finding like older stuff. I bought a pair of Mickey ears from like the 40th anniversary of Epcot. I'm not. It's not. I saw, and this angered me. We went the day after the Festival of the Arts started. We were at the Lakeland Antique Mall. I saw already a day after it came out the popcorn bucket for this year's Festival of the Arts on sale for like $69.
Nice.
Already. A day after they got it. It was already on sale. So it is not just the older stuff. Literally day-old merchandise.
Okay. You're speaking to us, the annual pass holder, and our rage as to why we now have restrictions on things, because those people fuck it up. I understand that. Also, Yes, you can find some newer stuff there, but the overwhelming majority of shit is like from 1998 and older. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's a lot from if you love the 90s Disney, you're going to find some stuff.
and the only thing that I would say is worth even purchasing, honestly, because you look at some of the prices on this stuff and like, no, it is not antique mall prices. It is like the MSRP style prices for some of this stuff. You know, some of the dishes, if you're like a super fan of a resort, because I think those were like $12 a piece or something like that, and they were pretty nice looking. So like you can find like a couple of decent things to pick up here. I don't know that this was worth its time though.
I think it depends. I think if you're someone who enjoys antique malls, like my mother, or
no shade thrown there,
or B, like this is why I know antique malls, because I grew up going to them because my mother loves them so much. Or if you're someone who wants to find, I mean, you can find some pretty rare stuff here. You've got to be willing to look. But you know, if that's something, I think it's not for everybody. It is definitely not something that everybody needs to go out and do. Please don't think that the TikToks and reels that you're seeing is everybody's experience. It's not. Please
just
remember
look at
social
ours.
media. Social media is very curated. Please keep that in mind. You know, so it's a lot of hit and miss, a lot of miss more than hits.
Very much so.
You know, but yeah, and don't go in there looking for something specific either, because it's an antique mall and that stuff changes. The inventory changes all the time. Like we were there, and the owners of the prop, like all like that back corner where it's like pretty much all the props and stuff, the ones that run that booth happen to be there, and they also apparently have a booth up at the front, because I think they had just gotten one of the ride vehicles from Splash Mountain, and they were getting that all set up. So so again, there's things there.
Anyway, before Amanda, on a scale of 1 to 5 antiques, how many malls are you giving this?
I'm gonna give it a 4. I like it. I do enjoy it. I hate that I'm admitting that I enjoyed it, because I hated going to these things when I was a kid, and I would always complain to my mother, and I was always told I was going to turn into my mother. Jesus Christ!
Please don't.
I'm not going to turn into like she is. I like going because I like seeing what Disney stuff I can find. Again, I walked out with some ears for this trip. And they have lounge flies galore at this place though. So if you're looking for some lounge flies, they are not like, don't think you're getting a reduced price. They are the exact same price that you're going to pay anywhere else you buy them, but they do have lounge flies. But yeah, my only gripe is it's so far out there. So far out there.
Okay.
But I also am giving this rating knowing that it's for a very niche set of people. It's not for everyone.
Yes, it is. If you are not one of those niche people, let's just go ahead and call it what it is. It's a 1 for me because I'm not that niche person. I thought the only reason that I gave this a 1 is because I got to see the Velociraptor. I mean, outside of that, it was years and years ago. I went to Jamaica, and when I went to Jamaica, I was taken on a tour to some sort of shopping experience where I was led down a very dark, shaded outdoor hallway. Very strange. and directed to booths the size of a telephone booth to buy crap that said Red Stripe on it in every single booth.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it felt like trying to walk around.
There's a lot of vendors with the same stuff. Yeah.
And there's just a lot of junk in there too, stuff that nobody ever needs or wants. There were, a couple of non-Disney things that I saw that like piqued my interest for all of 10 seconds. And then I realized, what the fuck am I going to do with this? Like, put it up in my office? Okay. Not for nothing. That's not that big of a deal to do. So it becomes a waste of money. I saw a couple of action figures, Star Trek action figures that I was like, oh shit, I played with this stuff like over and over and over again. These were still in the box and everything like that. And I, honest to God, gave it a thought. And then I was like, you know what? I got my enjoyment out of this when I was 9. I don't need it as an adult. And this is, maybe I'm just starting to become super jaded, but everything that was for sale in there was either useless or just something that even if I liked it, it just was not going to be something that I would spend money on as an adult. There's just more important things even if you're a huge Disney fan, there's more important and better things that you can spend your money on.
Yeah. So, again, don't go in here thinking you're going to hit a gold mine. You're not.
You're definitely not. However, speaking of a gold mine, I do want to point out that you said it yourself. There's ride vehicles for sale. Yeah. There's all the dishes, all the furniture, and all that kind of stuff.
Decorations from if you go, they didn't have them this year, or at least they didn't have a lot of them, but I've seen times where they had like a bunch of Christmas trees from the resorts and stuff like that. If you hit it up after a resort has undergone a refurb, that's when you'll see a lot of the like furniture and stuff.
So where I was going with all of that before you went down that diatribe on more inventory of this.
Sorry.
Whatever. It's fine. All that stuff has to like be pulled out and placed on hold somewhere with Disney at some point, right? They don't just like load it into the back of a pickup truck and then send it right over to the antique dealer.
I think the vendors that sell that stuff. Okay, so those vendors that I was talking about, I caught part of their conversation about this.
You're ruining my setup, but it's fine.
Sorry, go ahead. I don't know what you're trying to do, but go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to point out that if Disney's this fucking hard up for cash, they need to do one of two things. One, they need to stop paying their CEO $31.6 million for letting the stock price decrease over time, or certainly not.
He's done nothing to earn that.
That's correct. By the way, that's not the only major salary that was paid. Bob Chapek, despite not actually working for the Disney company anymore, made $9.95 million. And Christine McCarthy, even though she just finished out her tenure as CFO, she made $18.1 million this year from Disney. So, I guess there's no reason why, Disney was unable to afford some of these raises for cast members and so on and so forth, or any of the other stuff that we've been begging them to spend money on. Just throwing it out there.
You can afford to pay those 3 people that much money, but we can't have basic maintenance in the parks?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
We can't hire more cast members so the ones that are there aren't overworked. We can't pay the cast members more to begin with so they actually can live on what they make.
Nearly $60 million was paid out to those 3 people, 2 of which are no longer employed.
I want to throw something.
I know you do. But hey, they can find an extra source, an extra stream of income if they sold all this shit themselves.
Yep.
I'm not understanding this. Why wouldn't Disney just say, you know what? We don't need these plates. We don't need this furniture. We can skip the middleman and just make money off this stuff because we have a rabid fan base who does stupid shit
Yeah.
like this.
They could open their own antique mall with
And trust
just their
me,
stuff.
they have the space to do so, by the way. I've seen like the some of those backlot buildings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. They got space. They got space to open up. I mean, they have way more than one sports authority, that's for sure.
Right. Right.
So there, and trust me, there is no shortage of crap, I'm certain, in those warehouses to try to offload on these people, right?
Yeah.
Well, if they're that hold up for money, why the hell aren't they doing this?
I don't know. And just imagine if they did this at both here and at Disneyland.
Oh, they would make a fortune off
Yeah.
of the things like, what's his name?
John Stamos?
Yeah, Jesse, Uncle Jesse. He's got what, like 5 or 6 ride vehicles?
He is the ultimate Disney adult.
We're gonna get to that here in just another minute, but you make a killing off of selling to these people. And trust me when I say that I go, my job now takes me into Golden Oak, the neighborhood that is, right next to Fort Wilderness, and those folks that live in that neighborhood have no shortage of money or fandom for Disney. You've got to spend a lot of money, and you've got to be a major fan to want to spend that kind of money to live basically at the parks.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that there's not a market. There's a market sitting right next to the freaking warehouse for all this stuff.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they aren't direct selling any of this stuff. It's like Shop Disney, whatever. However you wanted to approach it, I'm certain that they can make a killing off of this stuff. And then we wouldn't have to go to Lakeland, which I think is a win for indoor air quality, just in general. And outdoor air quality too. While we're at it, the whole town smelled like a burning cigarette. I don't know how that happened.
I don't either. That was weird.
Like, we got out of the car to fill up on gas, and I was terrified that it was about to blow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little depressing going to Lakeland, is what
It is. It is. It's not the best place.
So I think that Disney should try to hawk some of this shit themselves instead of subbing it out to somebody, because they can't be making any money off of that stuff if that's the case. But we also, on this little journey, decided that we were going to have dinner at a restaurant off of 192 because Amanda was choosing.
Yep.
And while we won't review that for this show, just know that the restaurant that we did go to was so bad with their service, they gave us the whole meal for free. Like, I didn't even ask for it. I wasn't.
And our waitress kept apologizing profusely.
I mean, shout out to her. We did try to tip her. Like, we went and bought like an extra thing to make sure that we could give her some money, because nobody carries cash in this day and age. Certainly not on 192.
No.
God, no.
No. Please don't carry cash on 192.
Yeah, go watch the Florida
Please.
Project, and that's 192. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
So when we got done with dinner, it happens to be very nearby one of the most tacky looking gift shops of all time. And this is a 2-part reviewer for us.
Just there's no history on this one.
There's no history, but there is information because I did do some research.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're driving along 192, let's say that you got lost and somehow found yourself off property, or you decided, you know what a great idea is? Let's see if there's a Waffle House nearby. or you just needed to get off property for 10 seconds and took a left turn near Animal Kingdom Lodge, whatever the case may be. If you've ever been off of 192, you know that there are these giant ass tacky looking gift shops. The one that we went to specifically was called the Magic Castle.
It's the one with the wizard.
Yeah, go just look up Wizard Gift Shop Disney World on Google, and I'm certain that this creepy ass motherfucker who adorns this building will show up in the Google image search. However, if you also look at any of the other tacky looking gift shops, not the ones that are inside of a strip mall that just say gift shop on them, but the ones that have some sort of artwork to them, to like a facade of some kind, those are all owned by the same company. So you only need to go to one, is what I'm saying. If you have to go to one of these gift shops, you only have to go to the one, because it's the same thing across the street and across the street again.
Yep. So there's one with a mermaid, owned by the same company.
Yes.
There's also one with like a super patriotic looking one.
Yep.
Owned by the same company.
Owned by the same company. So just know that walking into any one of these places. The only reason that I went in there was for shits and giggles.
Yep.
That's the only reason that I went in there. How would you describe this experience, man?
Interesting. So don't everybody tends to think that these, because they are, and they kind of try to market themselves, or at least they used to, as such, as like discount souvenirs. No, not anymore anyway.
I mean, they're discounted compared to Disney prices.
Some of it's almost the exact same.
And a lot of it is unlicensed, I noticed. I'm pretty damn sure of it. There's got to be nothing but copyright violation after copyright violation inside of the
And now I know where all the people who keep wearing the Thing 1 and Thing 2 shirts, where they're getting them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, where did that shitty t-shirt come from? I didn't see that at the Emporium. If that question ever enters your mind, this is where they're getting that shirt.
Yeah, it's definitely unlicensed. A lot of it is unlicensed. But then they also have non-Disney souvenirs. They have a lot of Florida souvenirs. Some things for Orlando in general. And then we get to things like alligator skulls and dead sharks and glasses.
Yeah, that one threw me a little bit. The shark in a glass. Like, I don't know what type of shark it is, but I guess it's not endangered. That's for sure, because they sure as hell had a lot of these fucking babies in there that were shoved into these like baking jars,
like mason jars. Isn't almost, yeah.
You know, and they dyed the formaldehyde blue, which kind of threw me even more. I feel like I don't know. It just, if that's what your decor needs, we have a recommendation for you, and it's only $10. If you just need a dead shark in a jar, that's available to you. You know, there's stores that are like these all over the state. You can't, if there's a tourist attraction in your shitty Florida town, which includes a Jurassic Park like thing, but made out of paper mache, apparently, if you go down off of I-4 far enough.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, there's all sorts of just stupid shit on I-4, by the way. I mean, there's also stupid shit on 192. Who am I kidding? But you know, these are the roads. These are the roads that are the most populated. Scarily enough, you know. All of it would just seem like it was of very poor quality to me. Like every single article of clothing.
Did I somehow manage to find something that I like and bought it here? Yes.
Of
Yes, I
course.
did. It was not Disney. It was the softest sweatshirt ever. Have I lived in that sweatshirt since it's been cold down here? Yep.
I mean, yeah, you have, and it's kind of like disheartening to a degree. Um, okay. I mean, it's going to fall apart the next time that you wash it. There's no doubt in my
I've already,
mind. So,
I mean, it hasn't so far.
I mean, all right, fine. We'll give it 2 more washes. It's going to fall apart. It
And I'm going to
genuinely
be sad.
will. I did find one thing that was really just for me. And it's the tackiest visor that one could possibly imagine. I'm going to wear it on the next episode of the Nodcast, you guys, just to show you how tacky this visor is. I bought it without trying it on, which was really my fault, because on the inside of this visor is not any sort of comfort fabric. No. It's some sort of cross between burlap and like a terry cloth. Like if you can imagine a really, really stiff terry cloth that scratches your forehead, that's what's on the inside of this here visor. Super uncomfortable. But it was, you know what, $9. So there's that.
Yeah.
You can find some cheap shit here, guys. That is one thing that I'll say. Also, if you have any inclination for a shot glass, oh my God, they have a shot glass for every occasion.
You can find one. That's for sure.
You can also find gifts for those of you who just can't help but express your love for pot. Because like there was ashtrays and coffee mugs and coffee cups, and yes, there's a difference between a coffee mug and a coffee cup.
Sure.
One of them is made out of ceramic or porcelain. The other one is made apparently out of rubber. I wasn't.
I was really thrown by that. I did not like that.
Yeah. But everything that you could imagine a marijuana leaf was to be put upon, it was put upon in this store.
Yep. It was. I want to go back to the sharks for just a moment because I found a picture.
Of course he did.
And I need to describe this to you. So these are not mason jars, but they are like tall, fairly skinny jars with like these little sharks like in them. And like you said, the formaldehyde is dyed blue. They have some styrofoam around like where the bottom, where the lid is. And there's also like a label on the glass. There's a label on the styrofoam and a label on the glass. And seriously, that label just says shark.
So even less of a indication as to what type of shark it is.
Just a shark.
We're going to need some aquarium person, a marine biologist.
There you go.
Potentially to come in and identify what specific breed of shark. That's going to be a burning question for me for a long time. Burning, not unlike the formaldehyde that it's sitting in, because that's don't drop that shit, kids, if you end up buying one. Amanda, how would you rate this magic castle on a scale of 1 to 5 magics? How many castles are you giving it?
I'm giving it a 2. Now,
what? I could have sworn you were going to give this higher.
No. It is the tackiest of tacky. However, that said, I did find one of the most comfortable sweatshirts I've ever had in my entire life in this store. And if you go in knowing that this is not, you are not there for high quality things, then I think you'll be fine. If you go in there for the humor and just the ridiculousness of these gift shops, then you're fine. Please don't go in there expecting high quality, actually Disney licensed things, because that's not happening.
No, it's not. And it's because of that I'm giving this a 5. I know this is shocking. First of all, as you said, if you've ever stayed at a moderate or a deluxe resort at Disney World, you really have no business buying anything in here for real. Not at all.
This is definitely like the joke store. Like I would buy things.
The thing is that it's not a joke, though, to like all of the people who are staying on 192,
I know.
those shitty motels. I would even say a lot of the people who are forced to suffer through the All-Stars, for some sort of cheer competition.
And let me preface this by saying, when I was a kid, and like our first couple of visits anyway, these were the souvenirs we could afford. I did have things from, I distinctly remember going into this particular gift shop. Like I had stuff from here. So it's not like terrible. I'm not saying, it's horrible stuff.
I am.
It is not licensed Disney things, and it is not the best quality of things. If you're looking for like Florida or Orlando, particularly shirts, because dear God, do they have all of the Orlando shirts, then yeah, go here. But,
or if you have a 2-year-old who doesn't know any better,
right.
go ahead and pick them up a plush here and save yourself $50.
Or if you want a keychain.
Yeah, that's specifically a personalized one with just your first name, because they have all sorts of different bullshit that you can buy with just a first name on there. A pocket knife, for instance. I was not expecting to see a knife with my name on it. And I always thought that was a euphemism for getting stabbed.
Things these are the things that we can find. It is definitely an experience, I think.
One that is not worth your time if you don't have a car and you don't have an extra day to burn, obviously. But if you're one of those dedicated park goers that even though you've been 100 times, I still have to do rope drop. No, the Magic Castle is not for you. No. If you have a sense of humor or a car and nothing better to do or something like that because you didn't want to buy that extra day of theme park tickets, Magic Castle's perfect for you. It's right up your alley.
Yep. Also, if you were a fan in the early 2000s of anything that just said like lifeguard on it, go here. They have those. Or
if you're a lifeguard and lost your tank top for work, this is a great place to pick one up.
Actually, I think it's just the hoodies that they have.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I thought they had a tank top and swim trunks too, but
maybe, I don't know. I know they had the hoodie.
Well, I mean, of course they did, which is stupid because it's Florida. Why are you investing in so many hoodies?
Okay, but at the same time, this weekend has been ridiculously cold.
It has been ridiculously cold, and let's go ahead and talk about that in our news update here. It's been very cold in January. Just to give y'all a heads up,
cold and rainy.
Yeah, it's been a little bit miserable there for the first 3 years of this podcast. Basically, I had pretty much worn shorts every day, and I found myself not wearing shorts like a couple of days last week. It was not good.
No, it was not. It was not good.
And the crowd levels have been off the fucking charts, especially on the weekends anyway.
We keep getting I know last weekend there was the cheer competition was in town. This weekend I think it was some sort of flag football competition. All the competitions are
and also the what's it called? The running things. The running
marathon.
That's the
marathon. The Run Disney events. Yeah.
Sure. The Running Man. What?
Really? The Running Man?
Yes, the Running Man.
Jesus Christ.
You know, those are obviously like, people eaters in terms of like trying to bring events in and everything like that. You were hoping that because you were at the event that you wouldn't be showing up at the parks, but apparently you did. So there's that. It's kind of kept us out of the parks here for the past couple of weekends, which is why we are reviewing, by the way, an antique mall and a gift shop that's off property because of you people that have come down here. It's been insane.
It has been. It has been. But don't worry. We plan to be in the parks this upcoming weekend. So,
yay. Just in time for yet another kind of competition, I'm sure.
I hope not, but okay.
I don't know. You're the one who's going to have to make the reservations and all that.
I should probably do that, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Such is the experience of an annual pass holder in Orlando. Because God forbid we be good to go.
Yep. Can't be good to go.
No, God forbid. Let's also talk about. There's been a couple of announcements here from Disney, and I'm going to call this segment "Shit I Don't Care About." The first thing under the category of shit I don't care about, I guess the Rainbow Figment popcorn bucket has been released.
Oh, that's the popcorn bucket I was talking about. That was in the Lakeland Antique Mall the day after.
That was $69. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about shit I don't care about is these popcorn buckets and all of the hoopla that comes with them. Guys, this is getting insane and ridiculous. Are we that concerned about like how we're eating popcorn?
Apparently. And this particular popcorn bucket does not look like it's easy to like access the popcorn.
So, which makes it pointless as a useful tool. Like I get that there's some people who have some random collections of stuff, and more power to you. I'm not necessarily trying to judge you, although I absolutely am. Get a fucking storage unit, you weird hoarder. I also I don't understand why it's a big enough thing that Disney felt the need to make an announcement like this instead of just, I don't know, selling the fucking popcorn buckets like they did until like 2 years ago.
I don't know. Because they've become a thing now. They've become a thing, so now we have to announce it.
Speaking of another thing that Disney has announced under the category of shit I don't care about, there's a new AP magnet on the way.
Yay!
And that one,
I do care about this.
Well, apparently it's going to be Moana themed. So
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
It's you. Hi. You're the problem. It's you.
Look, all my life, I've wanted to be an annual pass holder so I could get these magnets, and now I am.
And now our fridge is covered with just the letter D. It looks ridiculous.
It is not. We have other things on there.
Not nearly as many things. I'm sorry. That thing is taking more D's than a porn star.
How long have you been waiting to do that joke?
I was going to say a 192 hooker, but Look, I just, again, I'm judging a little on this. Guys, are we really so desperate for the littlest of perks that we're going to latch on to these fucking magnets and wait with bated breath as to find out the genuine knowledge of truth or whatever the fuck it is from the parks blog that this one's going to be Moana themed? This is where we're at?
I mean, I can't speak for other pass holders. I don't go looking for this information.
But it comes to you.
It does come to me, and I get excited, and I'm like, for like, a good minute or so, and then I move on with my life until the magnet comes out, and then I will go to the parks and get the magnet, and then be done with it.
Yeah, and put it on our fridge. So
Right.
there's anyway. This is obviously. I feel like this is just a difference between husband and wife thing. I don't. I'm with all of the Disney TikTok dads at this point.
Yes, that trend is you.
Where everybody's just bitching about the price of everything and like acting all confused and not understanding what Genie Plus is. That's me.
You are a Disney TikTok dad.
Yes, I am. Without actually being a father.
Without being, yeah, right.
No, it's very strange how that worked out. We should be upset though to the point of pitchforks and torches. And I have neither a pitchfork nor a torch, but I'm considering obtaining one just so that I can, use them in my ire against the Disney company for all of the other benefits to the annual pass that we don't get.
Right.
But people slobber up these announcements over, a fucking magnet. It drives me crazy. It does. I love you. Sorry.
But you have to admit that I don't get like that.
I mean, you get like super excited about stuff, and I can't even bring myself to do that. So,
That's just me. I get excited about the things that I love.
I mean,
you've known this.
Yes, and I also love Disney, or at least I love Disney World and old Disney World at that, not new Disney World. New Disney World sucks. But like, even then, I'm like, I don't know. I don't get that excited about stuff. At least, outside of a football game. But we won't get into that. Amanda.
Yes.
We're on social media, are we not?
We are on social media.
Where might we be found on social media?
You can find us on Facebook and that website that's formerly known as Twitter, at Cynics or Cynical Disney, excuse me. So Facebook and site formerly known as Twitter is at Cynical Disney. Everything else, so Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, Threads, I think I got everything, is at Cynics on Disney.
And of course, this podcast is sponsored by that shitty gift shop off of 192, which is not to be confused with the Magic Castle, by the way, even though they sell the exact same stuff. This is technically a competitor to the Magic Castle. So that's who's sponsoring this here podcast. But also, this podcast is sponsored by NotClub33.com. Make sure that you check out NotClub33.com for all the latest and greatest updates, including but not limited to the Notcast, which of course should be, from here until at least the summer anyway, released every Friday at 4 p.m. Magic Kingdom time. That is East Coast time for all of you California people. On the last episode of the Notcast, we continued on with a kind of resort breakdown. This last episode, we broke down the Beach Club pretty succinctly. I don't understand Becky in any way, shape, or form, and she's just not acknowledging the greatness of Stormalong Bay is just beyond me. It absolutely is. But well, I guess we'll cross another bridge on one of these reviews here in the next couple of weeks. So guys, before we get out of here, make sure that you are subscribed to this here podcast on whatever podcast platform you are listening to us on, be that Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, Podbean, literally whatever RSS feed you are using to listen to this podcast. Make sure that you are subscribed to us. Make sure that you also rate us and review us. That helps us get a little bit more exposure to all of the other listeners out there. And trust me, you don't want me exposing myself in any other way. Until next time, guys, have yourselves a magical fucking day.